This is lesson 6-1. I forget the title. Using substitution to solve equations or something like that. Oh, what is this? Go away. Okay, cool. Anyway, here we are. Here's a definition for you of equations. So this is going to relate directly back to Module 5, where we were doing expressions and then kind of solving them. These equations are going to seem very similar, but they contain an equal sign. So an equation is a mathematical sentence showing that two expressions are equal. So an equation contains an equal sign. So we may have had 3x as our expression in the past, but now we have 3x equals something else. And sometimes it's just an answer. Sometimes it's another thing that looks like an expression, but is there an equal sign there, then it is considered an equation. I just did this. The similarities and differences between equations and expressions. Here it is. I just said that. I'm smarter than the book. All right, here we go. Here's what we're going to do with these equations. I wish that would go away. Okay, solving equations using substitution. I believe that's the title of the lesson. So when you solve an equation, you're trying to find the value for the given variable that makes the equation true. So like if there's a variable in the equation, you're trying to figure out what it is, basically what number it is. This value is called the solution of the equation or the answer. You may be given a specified set of values to use to find the solution of an equation. You can determine whether a value is a solution of an equation by using substitution, which means like trying to put things in, swapping things in, substituting things in. So given the equation x plus 3.5 equals 7.9, we can try and figure out what x is. And they're giving us three different options. So some of you may just know to try these out to see, but let's just see what happens. If we try and substitute 3.4 in for x, that gives us 3.4 plus 3.5. Does that equal 7.9? No, it doesn't. So that's not the answer. That's not a solution. What about 4.2? 4.2 plus 3.5 is also not 7.9, so that value is not the solution. However, if we substitute 4.4 in for x, so we got 4.4 plus 3.5, it does equal 7.9. So the value 4.4 is a solution. In other words, x can equal 4.4, and it makes this equation true. You also can use guess, check, and revise to figure this out. So like you can just kind of make guesses until you find an answer that's right. So if you have an equation like this, 4.5x, which is 4.5 times x, equals 135, you can just guess some numbers. Maybe you can kind of make an approximate like by rounding. But in this case, they are putting in 30 as their guess. And then if you just try it, do 4.5 times 30 and see. And if it's not, try a different number. And in this case, it is. Is there another value that is a solution to 4.5x equals 135? Sometimes there is more than one solution to an equation. Sometimes there's not. It just depends on the equation. So here is example 1. We're just going to use substitution. It looks like these are all already in here from the last time I taught this lesson, but let's just go ahead and go with it. So this is the table version. They're going to just substitute it in. So here's the equation. P plus 9.7 equals 13.7. So we're trying to solve for P. We're trying to figure out what P is, and they're giving us three choices, 3, 4, and 5. So we just go through and do each one and substitute them in. 3 plus 9.7 is not 13.7, so that's not a solution. 4 plus 9.7 is 13.7, so that is a solution. 5 is not a solution because 5 plus 9.7 is not 13.7. So like I said, sometimes there is more than one right answer. Usually with these, there's only going to be one, but sometimes when we start having zeros and things, or positives and negatives numbers, there may be different results that are possible. So you try that out. I know that it feels tedious to substitute in numbers, especially once you've found the one, but please still do it because substitution is something that's going to come up later on in math as well, and it's just good to understand what it means to substitute. All right, example 2 is to solve equations using substitution also. So this is just a word problem instead. So Nevaeh is building a door that is 36 inches wide using wooden planks that are 4.5 inches wide. So she's building a door, it needs to be this wide, and the planks that she's using are this wide. So you can guess and check, or you also could use substitution, which is kind of the same thing. What you're doing when you guess and check is you're substituting in your guess. So it's the same idea. So we have our equation 4.5p, so 4.5 times p equals 36. And so what we want to know is 4.5 times what is going to equal 36. P is this unknown number. We want to know how many planks that she's going to need to use. I just said that. Wait, hello? Where's the answer? It skipped it. Okay, great. So, I don't know why there's all these wrong answers. Probably because it wasn't typing right. So anyway, let's guess 6. 4.5 times 6. Does that equal 36? Does it? No, it doesn't. What does it equal instead? Blank, according to this. I don't know why it's doing that. It's not letting me type either. So cool. All right. Anyway, it's not 6. Let's try something else. So wait, we just did that. Oh, okay. So 6, it does equal 27, which is less than 36, which means we want to try a higher number because we need our answer to be higher. Let's try 7. So 4.5 times 7, does that equal 36? Again, this is glitching out, so sorry about that. 4.5 times 7 does not equal 36. It equals 31.5, which is still less than 36, so we're going to try to go even higher. Let's try 8. It's higher than 7. 4.5 times 8, does that equal 36? 4.5 times 8 still does not equal 36, apparently. Wait, what? I don't know, you guys. I don't know, you guys. Okay. 36 does equal 4.5 times 8. I don't know why it's doing that. So yes, now we have figured out that substituting in 8 for P, so 8 planks, will give us 4.5 times 8, which equals 36. So she's going to need to use 8 planks to build the door. You are looking for an exact answer when you solve these. So sometimes it may involve a fraction or a decimal. You don't want to be rounding with these. So sorry for the chaos of that. You try it out. If you're trying to guess and it comes out to be too low, then try a higher number. If it comes out to be too high, try a lower number. And don't forget, sometimes fractions and decimals may come into this. Otherwise, that's the end of that. Hopefully that wasn't too complicated. Sorry for the glitches, and we'll practice this in class.